A battle for Shiite dominance is going on in a war-scarred nation, Iraq. Sadr supporters are still sitting inside the parliament. The Iraqi cleric is calling for a dissolution of the parliament, and a tussle over a new government has strained the already fragile political system. What does this crisis mean for Iraq and its stability? Take a look.
In Iraq, it is a battle for Shiite dominance. In focus is popular cleric Muqtada Al-Sadr. Sadr has called for early elections in the war-scarred nation as his protesters continue to occupy the parliament.
Use my presence to end corruption, and all old faces, no matter who they represent, they won't have a place here anymore, by God's will. This is done through a democratic process. Pay attention, please. Through a revolutionary, peaceful, democratic process first. Then a democratic and early election process after dissolving the current parliament.
Sadr wants the parliament to be dissolved. This after polls failed to produce a new government. So what is Sadr's endgame? Is the powerful cleric bluffing? Or could his calls see a negotiated end to months of political deadlock? The first question is, why early elections? In Iraq, government formation has always been complex. After the elections in October, Sadr's bloc emerged as the biggest parliamentary faction. But it was still far short of a majority. In June, his 73 lawmakers quit. A bid to break a logjam over establishment of a new government. That led to a rival Shiite bloc becoming the largest in parliament. The pro-Iran coordination framework, a move that angered the Sadrists across Iraq.
As a first step, they have to dissolve the parliament as a sign of goodwill. We need a national salvation government that can prepare for what's to come, and we also demand elections. But I can tell you that they will not respond to our demands.
He said, take advantage of my presence to fight the corrupt. In God's will, we will get rid of these corrupt and put an end to this black era that the Iraqi people have been living in.
So what do Sadr's opponents think? The Coordination Framework Alliance includes lawmakers from the party of former Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki. For now, the stance of the framework is divided. They favor a confrontational stance. This includes forming a government and purging Sadr's followers from state agencies. Thousands of their supporters marched through Baghdad. This was in a protest against Sadr's actions. However, the views of another camp within the coordination framework appear to be ascendant. However, Iraqi politics often skirts the edge of the abyss before the actors involved decide to resolve their differences behind closed doors. So a deal could still be possible. Which brings us to the question, how will this threaten Iraq's stability? This depends on what Sadr's opponents do. If they persist, the situation could escalate. Sadrists could paralyze the executive and the capital. But Iran, which backs groups in the coordination framework, doesn't want violence. One of Iran's senior military commanders visited Baghdad a few days ago. Ghani's visit was an effort to keep tensions from escalating. For now, the sides, both heavily armed, appear to be avoiding violence. They are aware of the impact this would have on Iraq and the Shiite majority that was empowered by the political system. But only time can tell what will happen if the situation persists. West Asia Bureau, WION, World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.